Hi guys, welcome to this session in Microsoft Excel. In this module, I want to show you how you can use dollar signs to lock cells or to make them absolute. So on the screen, I've got an example here where I have some sales figures in column C and I want to do a 20% markup in column D. I have a cell with 20% in H1, so that's what I'm going to refer to. So first off, at the top of the green area, I'm going equals C2 times H1. That is the correct formula. When I tick that, it will give me 20% of this figure, which is correct. The issue is though, when I go to pull that down, I just get a blank pound sign because if you look at the formula, it's looking at C3, which is correct, but now it's looking at H2 instead of H1, and H2 is just a blank cell. And the next one down is looking at H3, which is also a blank cell. So what you have to do is you need to tell the computer not to do that. Basically, I've gone back onto the first one. I need to lock or make it absolute is a technical term, but I'm going to say lock H1 so it doesn't move when I pull it down. So each of these will still look at H1. Now to do that, I'm going to press the F4 function key, which will give me dollar signs around the H and in front of the 1. If I press F4 again, it does rotate through different options. So actually for this example, I just need a dollar sign in front of the 1, but I'll press it again and show you what happens. There it is in front of the H. There it is again off, and I'm just going to leave it on for both of them for this. It doesn't really matter in this example that they're both on because I'm pulling it down and it will work. So when I do pull this down now, that will all work. I need to widen the column for hashes, so I'm just double clicking at the top there. These are all looking at H1, so that works. So what I want to do now is I just want to add those two together. So I'm clicking on the sum function. It grabs the two of them. That's what I want. Clicking the tick, pulling that down, double clicking that down, and it's gone down and it's stopped there. It's hit the total. It would have stopped there anyhow because there's no data to the left. But now what I want to do is what's called a running total. What a running total is, this first one would just be the same as that, but if I pull it down one, it would add these two up. And if I come down again and pull it down, it would add these three up. So to do that, again, I'm going to use the sum function, but this time it's only going to grab E2. What I need to do in this example is get my cursor at the top, do a colon, and type E2 again. So I've got E2 twice. And what I need to do is lock the first one with the F4 key. So that will stay as E2, but as I pull this down, that will change to E3, then E4, etc. So if I just tick that, let's have a look. So that's the first one. If I pull that down, it should now add up these two. And if I pull it down again, it will add up these three. So these three are 79920. Down the bottom here on your Ready Reckoner, 79920. So that is working fine. So that's an example of using a dollar sign to fix part of a formula. That was an example of using a dollar sign to fix the whole thing. But now I'm going on to this mixed example where I want to work out what 1 times 1 is, 1 times 2 is, 1 times 3 is, all the way across to 10. What I need to do there is just do a little simple formula equals B2, which is 1, times C1, which is also 1. Tick that. 1 times 1 is 1, so you might think that that's now going to work. If I pull that across, 1 times 2 is 2, so you're getting excited, you think you've got it right. But as you keep going across, if I pull that across a little bit further, it starts going wrong because if I click on that 24, what is that looking at? It is looking at E2. E2 is 6 times F1 is 1. 6 fours is 24, so the answer is correct, but it's not what I want. Because what's happening, instead of looking at B2, it's moving along each time and then looking at the wrong cell. So what I need to do in this example is get back onto the first one, get my cursor in front of that B, put a dollar sign there. I'm going to type the dollar sign in front of the B to lock column B. So I want all of these looking at column B. I'm ticking that. Now when I pull it across this time, all the way across to the 10, it does work. 1 times 10 is 10. Now coming down, it needs to be looking at this yellow row. If I pull it down, it's going to do exactly the same. when I get to 4, it's going to do the 24 bit because it's no longer looking at row 1, it's looking at row 4, C4. So again, I need to lock this, but this time I need to lock the 1. So I've clicked in front of the 1 and I'm doing a $sign, and again I'm typing it, and I'm going to tick that. So now I should be able to pull that right down, let go, and then pull that right across, and then it fills the whole thing in, and that saves you a lot of time. So that's using a mixed cell reference, part of it locked, part of it not, and you can see that on both of those. Now moving along from that, we've got a little exercise, absolute referencing. So in this example, it's a bit more simpler than that last one. I basically need to work out the income based on these figures here. £3 to get in to this car park, and 1,000 people came in, so that is just going to be equals that times that, and then tick that. 3,000 is correct, and then I can get the little black cross and double click it down. Now I need to work out the percent, and this is where the $sign would come in. What is that 3,000 as a percent of this? So equals E3 divided by E10. E10 needs to be $signed, so I'm pressing F4 to lock it. Then I'm going to tick it. It comes in as a number, not percent, so I need to format that to a percent, and I want 2 decimal places. So I can go in here because this is already showing two decimal places, and then I can pull that down like so. So that's all I want to talk about in this little video. So thanks for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.